I'm Syra. I'm teaching in Teason High School right now, the marketing program.
Half a day, I'm Christopher Rowland, also known as Taco.
Good afternoon, class. I'm Sweet One Gilliam.
And both videos really highlight the fact that students should just be more than test scores. They should be assessed for actual real-world skills, critical thinking, problem solving, and that's where project-based learning comes in, right?
Well, Ron Berger's belief was that the quality of character and quality of work of the student was more important than their test scores. Basically, that we should be teaching students to be good people and to do good work rather than teaching them for tests.
Students are curious and they can self-drive their learning, and that when they're in PBL, they should be learning active investigation and they should be problem solving and not just passively listening to an instructor or a teacher. And the teacher should not be the sole focus or source of information in their classroom. So they are able to collaborate with peers. They're guided by structured teamwork and reflection. And then they get feedback, and then that information stays with them because they have the hands-on experience with that model that they're working with. And then they're able to integrate all of these subjects into the one cohesive real-world task. So the main role of the teacher is to be the facilitator, to be the coach, and to guide the students, and also design the framework, give them the resources and the structure to support this rigorous learning, and provide feedback.
I agree with this idea because we should be preparing our students to be full individuals, to think for themselves. And by teaching them to the test, we're not doing that. By teaching them the test, we're practically giving them the answers already. We can see it in students when they're waiting for us to basically give them their answers. Whereas with PBL, we're teaching them to be excited and to enjoy learning.
And a big word that I liked that they used that was new to me was scaffolding, and assessment throughout the process connects their projects to the standards and then provide the real world relevance and the community partners.
I definitely agree with it. I value the mindset of having your class not just rigorous but also relevant, right? Like the kids nowadays, or the students nowadays, they prefer learning something that they know they can apply outside of the classroom. And so I think that's what we should be testing for, and that's why I agree with the PBL perspective.
The challenges that I see that may be difficult are for schools that are like without resources or underfunded. They're having a harder time putting together a program like this without the types of grants like this particular school we watched did receive. So from top to bottom, they were able to redesign their program, redesign their school, and have the funding to do so, where a lot of other schools in lower income areas may not be as able to come up with this type of programming, especially with the curriculum design. I mean, the school allowed teachers time out of the day to like get together and collaborate amongst themselves on how they would engage their students in this type of learning. Another issue might be the time constraints and curriculum mandates that they have to implement as well, based on the U.S. standards, and that how would they cover all of the subjects within the time demands that they have to prepare students with real world projects. So there's a lot of accessibility to other outside external contacts, material, technologies, and things that they would need, maybe coordinate and receive permission to bring those experts into the classroom. And finally, I think sometimes students may not be so interested in doing group projects, and it's hard for the students to get all the content that they need, and not all learners are the same. So we don't know if all the students will benefit from this type of collaborative. Some people like to work better alone and learn better alone. So
not entirely disagree, but I think there are times where the traditional fill in the blanks or knowing key terms is important, especially with building foundation from the beginning. And then PBL is more of like a summative, okay, how do you apply all those key terms, those vocabulary, those facts into real life scenario. So that's not completely disagree, but I feel like there should be a balance. I'm not entirely saying that the multiple choice or true and false or fill in the blanks should be obsolete. I'm just saying that we could use them for initial formative assessments, and then when the kids are ready to apply it, then that's where PBL comes in. So I feel like it should be together.
I don't necessarily disagree with anything. The only thing I see is it's a lot easier for Ron Berger to do the program because there is a very small school district. For us to do it here on Guam, I think it would be a lot harder, and it would have to be wholeheartedly adopted by the whole school district, the whole island, and that's not necessarily something that's easy to do. But I believe would be very worthwhile if we were to redo the whole island that way.
Yeah. And I'm trying to apply it in my classroom as well, to where they take written assignments first to understand facts or terms that they're going to be using in marketing, but also I'm asking them, okay, now this is how you do purchase order in real life. Like when you do inventory, this is what happens. This is how you write your purchase order. This is how you guys are gonna call you're going to call these vendors and you're going to ask them what they have here, and then you're going to get back their price list, and you're going to make connections or partnership with these people. I feel like those are all PBL implemented lessons, and that's how I've been trying to experiment with it. Yes.
In my own personal life, if I have to learn something, it's usually or if I want to learn something, I can only learn it if I'm actually have an actual project in mind, or that I'm actually working on to learn that. So like at my other job at advertising, if I'm learning a new skill, it's because I need to learn it for something that we're doing. If I wanted to learn it on my own, I can't be bothered. So I think PBL is a really good thing for students because it gives them actual projects to work on, actual assignments that are real world, and they can see how what they're learning actually does or is related to the real world.
I was in a school where most of our work was collaborative, I feel, because we were in an arts program, and so everything was based on performance at the end. So a lot of the building blocks toward the end result of the product had hands-on experience. I mean, you're definitely kinesthetically involved in your learning. When you're learning lines and you're memorizing, you're also collaborating with other people who have to run lines with you, and then there's a lot of preparation and coordinating and bringing in experts from that field to kind of guide that learning. But a lot of it is like at the end you have to produce your own, you have to perform. So I think once you've gone through the content and you understand, for example, characters, and you understand your spatial, like your direction on stage, then you move into just having that value at the end of it by being able to perform what you've done. And now you've kind of got that lived in experience and the content becomes more real, the characters become more alive,